There is a distinct quiet that comes with having your own space. You set the schedule. You make the decisions. For many American women, stepping into a solo apartment is a milestone of personal autonomy. Yet the reality of living independently often introduces an unexpected tension. The freedom to live on your own terms is matched by a rigid mathematical baseline. This diagram illustrates the financial weight of that baseline. For a single worker in the United States, essential household bills consume exactly 47% of their total annual income. This high percentage points to a structural reality. Single women struggling to build a surplus are not necessarily failing at money management. They are operating a one-income budget that is forced to carry the exact same infrastructure as a multi-income household. When we quantify that infrastructure using data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average single-person household spends $4,716 every single month. To understand why that number is so high, we have to look at how the American economy prices the cost of living alone. Shelter is the heaviest anchor in any personal budget. According to recent household bill pay data, the median rent for an active renter in the U.S. is $1,453 a month. This graphic shows the immediate disadvantage of a solo lease. A cohabiting couple divides that $1,453 block cleanly in half, but a single resident absorbs 100% of the cost from one net paycheck. The fixed cost of the roof over your head does not shrink because you are the only one standing under it. That indivisible load applies directly to the walls of the apartment. Maintaining a functional modern home requires active utility connections. A single resident pays the median $125 for electricity and $124 for high-speed internet, absorbing the entire baseline cost of connectivity and climate control. Protecting the items inside those walls requires renter's insurance, adding roughly $19 a month as a mandatory, unshared fixed cost. The math of a solo apartment is clear. Before a single meal is purchased or a tank of gas is filled, the basic requirement of secure shelter and connectivity demands a disproportionately large share of a single income. Moving from the apartment to the supermarket, the economics of daily consumption continue to penalize the individual. This receipt highlights a recognized economic premium. The U.S. Department of Agriculture officially recommends adding a 20% surcharge to grocery budgets for single-person households. Single shoppers cannot leverage the discounts of bulk packaging. They face higher unit prices on smaller portions, and they battle a higher rate of unavoidable food waste when perishables spoil before one person can consume them. Factoring in that surcharge, the USDA's moderate-cost food plan places a realistic monthly grocery budget for a single woman between $397 and $470. Outside the supermarket, daily commuting introduces another heavy individual overhead. Maintaining a vehicle is entirely self-funded, with the average U.S. driver now paying $188 a month just for auto insurance. These daily living premiums accumulate rapidly. A single woman must spend significantly more per person just to maintain the exact same standard of living, nutrition, and mobility as a cohabiting couple. Beyond housing and daily consumption, living alone carries a hidden category of expenses: the active funding of physical safety and personal risk management. This dashboard represents a common requirement for single women: a monitored home security system. On average, this adds $76 a month to the budget. Whether it is a smart lock, a security system, or paying higher rent for a well-lit building with secure entry, these are not luxury lifestyle choices. They are a protective overhead paid entirely out of one pocket. Medical security operates on a similar single-payer constraint. An employee contributing to an employer-sponsored PPO health plan pays an average of $191 a month in premiums. This progress bar illustrates the healthcare deductible. For a single worker, the average general deductible sits at $1,886. That bar must be filled with cash reserves before the insurance benefits provide any financial relief. A medical surprise requires thousands of dollars on hand. Because a single income carries 100% of life's financial and physical risks, there is no secondary paycheck to absorb a sudden medical bill or an emergency car repair. The margin for error is incredibly thin. The indivisible rent, the 20% food premium, and the thousands in medical and safety deductibles do not have themselves just because you are the only occupant in a household. Navigating this structural disadvantage requires a specific approach. The most effective defense against a one-income budget is absolute financial clarity. The process begins by identifying your exact net monthly take-home pay. From there, you explicitly list every single fixed recurring bill to calculate your true unshared baseline. This leads to the zero-based budget. By assigning every single dollar a specific job before the month even begins, you control where the money flows, rather than wondering where it went. Here we see how the single income relies on its foundation. Building a 3 to 6 month emergency fund is a standard financial recommendation for couples, but for a single income household, it is an absolute requirement. It serves as your critical financial shock absorber. Mastering the mathematical reality of independent living transforms a solo lease from a monthly pressure into a sustainable foundation for long-term security. When you understand the numbers, you take control of the story.